Check your camera. We are all right, we are live. Hey there, everybody. It's Delilah Cordova here, and I am here again for another awesome author interview. And today I have with me Kevin Eastman. Kevin, say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And today we are going to be discussing his book, Don't Gamble on Life Improvement Until You Shift the Odds. And I want to also note that if you're an author who is in need of getting started and wants to participate in an interview, I am looking to conduct 100 author interviews. And I am about, when I say 25, almost 30, maybe 40% the way. I got to count my numbers. I haven't counted today. But I am getting closer and closer every day, and I am so excited to meet my goal. So if you need an author interview or you are looking for someone to discuss your book and go live with you, I'm your girl. So go ahead and contact me. Those who are in, we already got people showing up. Hey, Jim Peters and Sherry Holloway. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. If you guys have any questions, any comments, concerns, anything, make sure you please drop them in the comments, and then also let us know where you're from. And yeah, Kevin Eastman, I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us more about you and about your book.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's my turn. Well, my name is Kevin Eastman. I am a retired Air Force veteran. I spent 24 years in the Air Force and been retired for about 5 years now, and decided to go back to grad school and finish up my degree. And in the process, I wrote a book.
Isn't that what we all do when we get out of the military? Go to grad school, write a book. No, I'm playing. So, tell us more about the book.
Oh, the book is, if it's okay, I can show everybody an image of it. It's actually called Don't Gamble on Life Improvement Until You Shift the Odds. And what it is, it's actually a self-development book. A lot of people like to call it a self-help book, but I don't refer to it as because in my opinion, it does not provide help. What it does, it provides people a way to look at things that they already have inside of them and help them develop. So it's more development than it is help for me. So to me, I think it is it's fun and engaging, but it also is challenging. It's going to challenge the reader's thinking process on a lot of different avenues or a lot of obstacles that we face in life. I go through a lot of different things in there and try to easily explain it as to why they're in the way, so to speak.
So that sounds interesting. So how did this book come about?
Well, actually, the book came about because of my own life, believe it or not. I sat back and I was running into obstacle after obstacle and wanted to figure out why these things were happening. And once I decided to sit down and really give it some thought, I came up with the idea that it wasn't everybody else that was holding me back. It was up here. And once I decided to get this fixed, everything else fell into place.
And you know what? I fall into my own trap too. So I totally agree with you. Everything is in your mindset and how you perceive things and how far you're willing internally to go to achieve your goals, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So with that, what inspired you to write this book? Sorry guys, I'm trying to find the word. How did you aspire to be a writer?
Well, actually, I became a writer by accident. I actually started writing bits and pieces here and there, and the next thing I knew, it turned into a 251-page book. So I started writing, and it just turned and grew and grew and grew. And I figured out that I can't be the only one that can benefit from what I found. So I decided to publish it as a book.
So with your book, is there anything you would like to highlight from your book for everybody?
Well, I can tell you that my book is pretty realistic. A lot of people are going to be shocked at the things they read, but the way I kind of describe it is everybody has seen what I've seen, but they haven't seen it put my way. And that's my little spin on it. That's my caveat. What it is, I'm going to challenge your thinking on a lot of different things and make it easy for you to understand why these obstacles are in place. I go through topics like the comfort zone. There is a chapter in there called the fear of winning. A lot of people are kind of shocked when I tell them about that. But the premise behind that chapter is a lot of people are so afraid of being successful in their life that they will intentionally engage in activity they know won't end well for them. And the reason why is they'll have something to blame their misfortune on rather than themselves.
Wow. So then, can we see the book cover one more time? Because I thought it was really interesting, and you flashed it. But I want everybody to really see it, because it is an interesting looking book. It is an interesting book cover. Let me see it.
So here's the cover. And the title is a metaphor by all means. It has nothing to do with gambling. I want to put that that this is not a book on gambling at all. But what it is, what I tell people, it's a way, it shows you ways to eliminate the emotional clutter from your life. That way you can start overcoming these obstacles that are put in your way. And you find out that a lot of them are mentally put there instead of physically.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So yeah, we're getting more and more people. Hey guys, thanks for coming out and showing out. Hey, Jennifer Morris. She's saying hi, Delilah. So how did that book cover come to be? How did you create this book cover?
Well, I went back and forth on what to put on there, and I had an awesome editor that told me this was the finished product. It actually was a lot busier at first. I had a gambling table on it, and then one of my editors, she said, you might want to tone that down a little bit so people don't get the wrong impression about what's inside the cover. So we settled on the pair of dice as a metaphor for gambling with your self-improvement, and voila, there it is.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So what are common traps for aspiring writers?
Well, I finished this is my first book, obviously, so I can only speak from my experience. But for me, I had an internal battle while I was writing it. It was sparked by self-doubt. Throughout the process, I was wondering, was it good enough? Would anybody read it? Those types of things. And I went back and forth, even up to the point of publishing. And I actually had an author friend of mine that actually put it into perspective for me. What she said to me made so much sense. She says, that's your book. That makes you the expert. Nobody can tell you how to read your story better than you. So that made perfect sense to me. She said, as long as you believe in what you wrote, the message will get to the person it needs to get to. And that kept me going in the writing process, because self-doubt had me going back and forth. Is it good enough? Is it not? Those type of things. But what she said made everything make sense to me.
And you know what? She needs a virtual high five.
Absolutely.
Because that was the best advice that anybody could have given any writer, because they overcrit. A lot of people, they don't get started, or they start and they don't finish due to that self-doubt, or that self, that in their mind, what they're going through in that turmoil in making the book. You know what I mean? And worried about criticism, worried about judgment, worried about this. And that she she's awesome. She gave you the best advice ever.
Absolutely. And there was one other thing she said. She said, once you start the process, you're going to have ups and downs, but your goal is going to remain the same. The only thing that will change is your plan to achieve it. So that makes perfect sense to me.
Right. Right. And, I think I learned that lesson the hardest being an entrepreneur. That along the path, the goal is still the same, but I've had to maneuver in different ways than I expected to get where I'm trying to go. Right. So
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Um, so yeah, when do you plan on making any more books here soon?
It's interesting you would say that. I thought I put everything I had into this book and I had nothing else to give, but I had another friend of mine say, you need to get started on a second book. And I looked at him like he was crazy. And lo and behold, a few weeks ago, I had an idea for a second book just out of the blue. So more is coming.
So is it going to be the set along the lines of self-help or nonfiction or the next one?
Absolutely. It will be the same thing. And it's self-development, not self-help.
Oh, self-development. Okay, fine. Well, I think that, using this book, it's going to be great. I love self-development and self-help books, those nonfiction type of books, and I love working with them. Like a lot of my clients are self-help, and they use their books as stepping stones. You know what I mean? Like, it's like having a written resume, because it's an achievement to become an author. It's an achievement to put all your thoughts into this book and make it happen in itself. And
Yes.
those are the type of people that, this is something that can get you into so many opportunities and open so many different doors for you. You know what I mean? So are you planning on using the book to get you into more speaking engagements, coaching opportunities, so on and so
Oh, I'm
forth?
always open for any opportunity to talk with people. I enjoy speaking with people. I spent 14 years as an Air Force recruiter, so talking to people is not a problem for me. But if I get a chance to help someone achieve their goals, it makes me feel good, and that's part of the motivation behind the book. It's more of a can I help someone else in addition to helping myself, because writing this book was actually very therapeutic for me. But
Right.
if I can get someone else to make positive strides in their life, it's all the better.
That's all the better. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, is helping one another, right? So
Yes.
what does literary success look like to you?
Well, for me, I like I said, in the questions you sent me earlier, I wrote my book with the intention of helping people make positive adjustments to their life. If it can help one person, then the book has done what I designed it to do. The more people it helps, the better it is. I would consider a success if a person contacted me and said what I wrote helped them turn their life around. I had to go through a lot to change my own life, and had a lot of people that contributed to that change for me. So, some of them don't even know the amount of influence they had on me, but they were influential nevertheless.
Right? Beautiful. So, yeah, we got a lot of people. Look, they came out to show out for you. And then we got John Dill. He says he finally made it. Welcome, John Dill. And he
Hello,
says
John.
that he says he got good advice, and once a writer, always a writer. You're so right, John. And then Jennifer, she's saying that writing is very therapeutic for her as well. Yeah, nice. Hey guys, thanks for showing up. So, with that, if you guys are enjoying the broadcast, make sure that you are sharing. Oh no, sorry y'all. We gotta edit this out. Excuse me, y'all. Bye. Hello. Anyway, so I apologize.
No problem.
So, what is the best way to market your books?
I really think it's going to vary from book to book, but in my opinion, there's no better way to market your book than standing there and talking to people about your book. That way, the potential reader can talk directly to you, and you can emphasize portions of your book you want them to be excited about. Face-to-face contact is invaluable when it comes to marketing a book, in my opinion, because words can only say so much, but if a person sees your face and the excitement you have about your book, it may make them excited as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And along with that, getting out there and handing, people always say to carry your books with you and to give them out as you're going around. But it creates that know, like, and trust deal, right? But it's not like an online version of know, like, and trust. It's like in person. And I believe that a lot of my best in person opportunities happened in person, right? So I can only imagine, like, if I had a book like you have right now, and I had people that I was speaking with, and I showed them that book, not only more opportunities I have open for me. So right now I gotta.
Well, as a nonfiction author, I have the challenge of trying to convince someone that they may need to alter their way of thinking when they're convinced that their way of thinking has been working.
Well, the thing is, you don't want. It's like trying to sell them, right? You're trying to convince them. You gotta manipulate that a little bit. Like, you gotta be around. You gotta be persuasive. You gotta learn some. You gotta do persuasion, because nobody wants to be convinced that they're wrong. I
Exactly.
I don't like to be convinced that I'm wrong.
Well,
Because I
it's not necessarily being wrong. It just means you may have to look at a different point of view. And that's the hard
right.
part, because we want our way to be right. Well, I learned a long time ago that you're not right all the time. And when you're not, you have to own it. And that's where I had the downfalls in my life. I refused to accept that I could be wrong until I accepted it, if that makes sense.
I don't think anybody can accept when they're. Well, I mean, they probably do, but me, it's hard to admit. So, nope, I was right. So you would have to. I'm the type of person you would have to manipulate into convincing that I'm.
Well, maybe you need to read this also.
Possibly. I got a stack of books to go through. I will definitely put that on my list. So, yeah. Hey, Lula Bowens. She has joined us. Hey, Lula. She's saying, good evening, beautiful people. And John Daly says, oh, he said, don't apologize for my children. Man, they bad. Oh, I got hamsters in my vent under the house, and I can't get them out. They've been in there all night. I'm like, how did they get out of the cage? I can't get them out. Anyway, that's another story. And then he says that John Dill says, not that they're wrong, but they need additional tools.
Exactly. And that's what this is. This is a tool. You may not need to change anything in your life, but then again, you may need to change a lot of things, like I found out.
And then John Dill also says you can't help anyone who doesn't believe they need help. And that's
Absolutely.
true. That could backfire.
Absolutely.
I've had situations where I try to help somebody and then it turn around and backfire on me, and then I become the one, like the bad person for them. And it's like, you're trying to, what did she say? She said, you're trying to control me. I'm like, I'm not trying to control you for nothing. You just don't like what I'm saying.
And that's the problem. If they don't like what you're saying, they don't want to hear you.
Right. So what period of your life do you find you write about most often? Child, teenager, young adult, adult?
Well, believe it or not, as a self-development writer, I go through a lot of different examples of my own life in the book, and it goes anywhere from childhood all the way to young adult. So I encompass all of those periods in the book that I've written. So a lot of things I've learned from my parents growing up, from supervisors as adults, in the Air Force and things like that, and also bonehead conversations I had and decisions I made when I was a teenager as well. So
The bonehead the stubborn conversations with your parents, right?
absolutely, I
Yeah,
know
that
everything because you've never been a teenager before, so you don't know what you're talking about.
that was me. I was very boisterous and very strong-willed and stubborn. And now I'm like going through it with my kids, and I'm like, I was horrible. I was bad. I was. Like, I don't wish teenagers on anybody. um, John Dill, he's like, when you reach out a hand to help, expect to get a nail driven through it. Sometimes, that's right. And we are the product of our choices. That we are. That we are.
Wow, I
Thanks,
like
John.
that.
Yeah. So, what is the most difficult part of your artistic process?
It's interesting you would say that. I thought when I started the writing process would be the difficult part, but it wasn't. I was wrong. The like I said earlier, the most difficult part is convincing people to read the book. A lot of people don't want to find out that they're wrong in what they're doing. But in the way that I write it in the book is with you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because from discomfort growth occurs. So you have to have that person that stays on you and refuses to let you keep the blinders on, so to speak. And I had that supervisor that challenged my way of thinking. He was the person that said, "No, I'm not going to let you keep these blinders on. Tell me." And once I did that, it was like, whoa. A whole bunch of other things opened up that I had no idea were there. So that's one of the most difficult part of the artistic process for me is getting people, convincing them that they may need to read it. They may not, this information may not be for them, but they know somebody in their life that can use the information in this book. I guarantee it.
I bet. I bet. So, with the book, um, what is the best chapter in that book and why?
Oh, oh, there's so many, but the one that I think is most poignant for me, and I've seen it in a few groups on Facebook that I've had, is there's a chapter 7 is on relationships, and what I do is I go through some of the things that men do as well as some of the things that women do that kind of put a damper on a relationship, and it's a long chapter. It's the longest chapter in the book, but I broke it down into 4 different chapters. So so women don't think I'm picking on them. I show them men also, and men don't think I'm picking on them. I show them women, and at the end, I show everybody how to make sense of the chaos and put it together. And it makes perfect sense if you read it. A lot of people are going to be side-eyed with me. I can tell you, there are women that are going to be looking at me and read that, and they're going to go. And men are going to read it, and they are going to go, I can't believe you said that. But they won't be able to deny it because we've all done it.
You're gonna get the side eye. I can't do
Absolutely. I'm going to get a lot of side eyes on that one. But it will make sense.
it. Well, you're just waiting for it. Somebody's gonna look at you side eye and be like, "Yeah, you read the book, right?" Like you read the book. So, Kevin, tell us, tell us what you plan to do within the next 5 years. Where are we gonna see
Next
Kevin from here to there?
next 5 years, I'm hoping that this book takes off and touches a lot of people's lives. I see myself writing another one here soon, and we'll see where the process goes from there. it's it's a slow moving process once you're while you're trying to get established as an author, and the more people who know who you are, the easier it is to get information to the potential audience. Hopefully in the next 5 years you'll be seeing a lot more of me.
I hope we do too, because your um your your personality is really good. You know what I mean? And it seems like it's really genuine, everything that you have come up with and put into this book. Um, so I hope to see you, like, maybe speaking with Oprah, or I mean, if Oprah does a Facebook Live show, I don't know if she retired or not.
That would be nice. I would love to do that, but
Yeah.
you have to crawl before you walk.
You'll be walking in no time. Don't say that. You're gonna say, there's a law of attraction thing that my one friend was making me do with her earlier. Why are all my opportunities coming at me at one time? Why am I on TV with Oprah and I am enjoying it? I don't know how she says it different, but it helps, so you can get in the mindset that this is gonna happen. Okay,
Right,
so we're gonna
right.
attract that. Right. So yeah, we got more people. Hey there, authors Takia Smith. Hello, how are you? And we got Cynthia Fox Everett. Hey Cynthia. And yeah, John, and then they're making great comments too. Cynthia Fox says it's all in your approach in deliverance. She's always telling her because
Absolutely.
she's so deep. She's so deep. And then John Dill says very articulate. He says you're very articulate.
Thank you
Beautiful.
very much, John. I appreciate that.
And then Cynthia Fox, she says transparency is the key. That's so true.
That is true,
That's
and it's funny she would bring that up because in the book, one of the things that I try to emphasize throughout the book is balance. It takes balance to make strides to improve in your life, and where we run into problems is where we become unbalanced. And I try to get each reader to understand that sometimes that balance it's being determined by what you have right here.
right.
And perception is one of those things that is emphasized throughout the book. And it's put into different situations, and they all seem to come back to the same thing: what you have developed in your head.
Right. What I've developed in my head.
You, a lot of readers will be shocked. And the reason why I say that is because we don't think about things until we have to think about them. And once somebody puts it in front of you, it's like, oh, I never realized I was doing that. And that's what happened to me. The light bulb clicked on. It was like, oh, okay. It wasn't everybody else. It was me.
I know, and I'm the I think I've been through that phase where I would blame other people because I didn't want to blame myself, and then to come around and turn around, it's like, oh no, it was me. It was me, and I have to go back, and then I have to apologize. I'm so
Well,
sorry.
it's interesting you would say that because I just had a speaking engagement last weekend, and I explained to a group of young men that I was mentoring that we like to blame other things. And we look that way first instead of looking at ourselves, because as long as I am convinced that that is the problem is not me. And I can
Right.
live with something else being the problem. I can't live with me until I decide to what I call get out of my own way.
Exactly. And you know what? And that, a lot of people say, oh, well, you got to shift your mindset and this and that. But getting out of your own way is a hard shift. Because when you're trying to make things happen and you think that you're so right and you're so correct, you got these blinders on that it is hard to get out of your own way. Like you are your own worst enemy in getting out of your own way and let things happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and
Find it.
one of the funny things is when you're in that mindset, it's hard to get out of it. But if you think about it in a logical sense, decisions in themselves are very easy because it boils down to either you're going to do it or you're not. So the
Right.
decision itself is easy. Living with the consequences for that decision is where the conflict comes in.
Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, so don't kick yourself in the rear end when you let the opportunity slip by because you didn't act.
Mhm.
So yeah. Um, so John Dill, he says, exactly, he couldn't agree more. And then Lula Bowens, yes, perception is what makes most people not want to hear the truth about them to improve. And that's true.
Well, that's
Perception.
an interesting comment that she said, and I
All right.
actually cover it in the book. Believe it or not, I cover truth. A lot of people don't realize truth is a hard pill to swallow because it has a well-known ability to absolutely crush somebody's beliefs. So
Yes.
people dance around the truth a lot or tread lightly on it because what we want to do instead of accepting truth for what it is, we try to manipulate it into something we will accept.
Right. I like the way you put that. We'll manipulate it into something we accept. um, and then, yeah, Jennifer said absolutely. I guess she's agreeing with Lula. And John Dill, pride is a stumbling block. Pride is a stumbling block. How is this hard to read? And, let's see. Sometimes you learn it's wrong, so you defend being wrong. What do you guys say about
Say
that?
that again. I didn't hear that.
Sometimes you learn it's wrong, so you defend being wrong.
Absolutely. That is 100% truth because as long as I'm convinced that I'm right, I don't have to hear the truth. I've learned that there are some people that don't want to hear the truth. What they're really looking for is their truth coming out of somebody else's mouth.
Who better get to say it? You know what, Kevin? You're so eloquent and like John Dill said, you are so articulate. Just a
Thank
genius,
you
I
very
swear.
much. I appreciate
So
that.
Cynthia Fox Everett, she says, how do you get the light bulb to click if you have never been exposed to a healing environment? So they some deep
Well,
thinking shit,
you
man.
have to. Well, for me, it was sitting down, having that person to challenge my thinking. I was told, no, you're not going to continue doing what you're doing, and I had to ask a lot of why questions. Why are you doing that? And when I came up with, I don't know, it made me start looking into things more deeply as to why I was doing the things I was doing. And the light bulb came on for me. I mean, one of the things I mentioned in the book is my parents. My parents were idiots until I was about 22 years old, like any other person would be, you know. But at age 22, the light bulb came on, and I realized that my mom and dad were not stupid. It was me.
And you know what? I learned that too in a hard way. Especially when you have some type of issue come up and you're almost 30 years old and you gotta call mama. Mama, my mama,
Absolutely. And it's funny, my dad and I talk to this day about some of the things, and we laugh now that I can talk to him about the things that I did when I was younger when I thought he was stupid.
I know, for real. And I think I'm going through that right now with my 15-year-old. I think she thinks I'm just the dumbest one, and like she'll send me text messages like she has to babysit me. Mom, make sure you get up. I woke you up at 6 a.m. Make sure you get up out of bed. I'm like, geez, I didn't like I can't get up myself. So fear of others' perception is another stumbling block. John Dill.
Hmm. Fear of others' perception. Interesting comment.
Yeah. So then Cynthia Fox Everett, your truth might not be someone else's truth, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How am I
Again,
looking at you, Courtney?
like I said earlier, we are not looking, sometimes people are not looking for the truth. They're looking for their truth coming out of somebody else's mouth.
Right, right, right. Um, and then John Dill says, tell me what I want to hear, not what I need to hear.
You
I
know,
like it. I like it.
it's interesting that he brought that up because that's actually written in chapter 2 of my book. My dad told me something, and he was not telling me what I wanted to hear. He told me what I needed to hear, which
Right.
actually helped me because what I needed to hear switched my mindset.
Beautiful. I love the connections you guys are making. This is awesome. And the majority of these of those in our crowd here are authors. So yeah, this is great. If two people see a glass of water and one says the glass is half full and the other says the glass is half empty, whose perception is correct? Jennifer
I
Moore.
am I'm going through the book right now because I want to show you this. Chapter 5 in my book is actually titled, "Is the glass half full or glass half empty?"
He thought he was making it. Let me get that chapter 5. I got it in here, yo. You guys gotta get the book.
And it that and actually that chapter is all about perception. It deals with the amount of emotional weight that you assign to a situation will dictate the magnitude of your reaction to that situation. And I end that chapter by saying, is the glass half empty or half full? It depends on your perception, but why waste the time debating it? Drink it and you eliminate the problem.
Then it's empty. John
So
Dill
I'm not a glass half empty or glass half full. I'm a problem solver. I'll drink it.
beautiful. John Dill said somebody read your book, and Jennifer Morris is like, wow. You guys. All right. So your book, is it self-published or traditionally published or hybrid published?
It actually is self-published. I published it on Amazon. It's available there in ebook as well as paperback copies. If anybody has Kindle Unlimited, we all know that that's free to read as well. And the way I like to tell people is at the end, you will either use the information in this book or you will know somebody that needs it. So it can be used if you buy it by you or not. But if you can't use it, gift it to someone else who can, and that's what the book is about. It's about helping people change their lives.
Right. Beautiful. So as somebody who is self-published, what are some tips and tricks that you can advise on for those who are looking to self-publish?
Well, you have to do your research. For me, I chose the self-publishing route because I wanted to remain in control of what I wrote. It's nothing against the publishing houses, but I wrote this book in a particular context, and I didn't want to have an editor tell me, oh, you need to change this or you change that, and we go back and forth because I wrote it the way I wanted it written. And it would actually help me with my editor because she asked me, is this how you want this to sound? And I told her, yes. She said, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. So Cynthia Fox, they are chatty. I love this.
I wish I can see it. I can't see what you see.
Yeah. Cynthia Fox Everett says, I agree. I spent so much time debating this question that I decided it didn't matter as long as it's water in it. Water in a glass, half full. And then John Dill says, now it's empty. What's next?
Once you drink it, move on to the next challenge.
Yeah, move on. Hey there, Priscilla. Hello. Thanks for joining us. So as far as marketing goes, I know that you said that handing, being face to face and handing books out is the way to go. What else are you doing to market this book?
Well, I'm on social media as well. I have a few book fairs coming up, speaking engagements also. I have my business cards with me all the time. So you never know where you're going to have an opportunity to give one of those out. So I'm doing a lot of local libraries, those types of things. I'm also looking for book clubs. If any book clubs want to look into reading my book, I would be happy to speak with them about it. Uh, any opportunity that I can think of to get the word out, because I think a lot of people could benefit from this book or somebody they know.
Beautiful. So, with marketing, and you said you're doing social media, do you have any, anything that you have done thus far that has worked particularly well for you?
Everything has been slow rolling as of now. I mean, it's because I'm a brand new author, so nobody knows who I am. So why should I listen to him? Believe it or not, that's the first chapter in my book. Why should I pay attention to this guy? But once the buzz gets created, hopefully with the book, a lot more people will be more receptive to it and the information that's in it, and we can get things moving from there.
Yeah. Well, you got to build up that know, like, and trust factor. And that's what's going to build relationships and get people to gravitate to you. And with social media, you got to really be engaged and be out there somewhat in a way. And it's hard to do. Trust me, it's hard to do, because even like me, as an influencer, and I'm a growing influencer at that. I don't have time to be like, trying to chat with you and do this with other people and all this, that. But you got to really build a relationship and show up. In your case, I'm going to tell you this right now. Go live. Go live, go live, go live, and do it consistently, because you are giving out self-development information. And the best way for you as an author, for people to get to know you, did I lose somebody? I don't know, it started all over on me. I guess, I don't know if I glitched out or you glitched out, but hey, we're back. But that's my advice, because you're going to get a broader reach. Facebook's going to throw you out there, and the more you do it consistently, the more you're going to get back in return. And people are going to start gravitating to you, just like what I'm doing now, right? Make it happen, Kevin. So, authoress Takia Smith says, please send me the link. I have a great following. Yeah, once we're done, Takia, I'll have him go ahead and drop his links in the comments below. And, come back and get them. And if you're on the replay, make sure you go back to the beginning, because this was an awesome episode. Hey, we got Michael Ogier in the house. Michael. Somebody you would probably want to follow as well, because Michael is in self-development and self-help with law of attraction. So, and he's my client. He's my bestie. So yeah, go check him out. I know we had a glitch there, Bill. I don't know. So Cynthia Fox Everett says, you have a great voice for going live with, and this great smile. So that means, you know what that means? People want to see more of you. People want to see more.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will start doing that. That's awesome advice.
Yes. All right. So you guys, we've been at this for about an hour, and I appreciate everybody who did show up and show out and gave us hearts and commented and participated. This was an awesome live. I want to say maybe one of the best ones ever. I'm so excited. Like, you see me over here, I'm like, thank you so much, and I appreciate it. So Kevin, do you have any ending words or anything you would like to leave us with?
Just if anybody is interested in the book is called Don't Gamble on Life Improvement Until You Shift the Odds. It is available on Amazon in ebook as well as paperback. I am on Facebook as well. I am on Twitter. Also, just try to spread the word around, because we all know people that need direction in their life, even though they don't know they need it yet.
Right. Awesomeness. All right, you guys. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you all have a great Friday evening. Bye.